yeah, WoW actually did come out with a brand new video. Everything coming in patch 10.1. All right, let's see it.
Hey folks, this is CatDany. Patch 10.1, the largest update since launch, and the next chapter of the Dragonflight story launches on May 2nd. And there is
I'm so sad I'm not going to get the Gladiator mount, man. Oh, I'm so sad. It's just there's no way it's going to happen, bro. Like, it's just no shot.
Much coming with this update. We have a brand new zone, the Zaralek Cavern, a new faction to befriend with renown rewards to unlock, Season 2 of Dragonflight that introduces a new 9-boss raid, an entire new rotation of dungeons for Mythic plus Keystones, affix changes and updates, cross-faction guilds, new public events and activities, profession updates, dragon riding options, class balance tuning, and more.
Holy fuck. Okay, that's a lot of stuff.
So let's go through everything coming in patch 10.1 Embers of Neltharion.
Okay.
First up, the new zone, the Zaralek Cavern. This is the first zone that we've seen that is directly underneath another zone in the game. The cavern is deep underneath the Dragon Isles, hidden away from prying eyes until now. The Primal Incarnates are on the move, and the Dragon aspects need our help to track them down and figure out their plans before it's too late. This leads into the beautiful...
I mean, the zone looks really nice. I mean, this looks fucking great. I think this is in the new zone. It must be in the new zone. Sure.
Cavern with a deadly secret. Neltharion's long-lost laboratory. Who knows what ancient powers the Primalists are after?
Well, we do know, because it got data mined, but yes.
What they could achieve if they succeed. Strangely, the Primalists aren't the only ones seeking what remains of Neltharion's legacy, so we'll be fighting on multiple fronts. How we get to the Zaralek Cavern is also quite special. The Primal Incarnates bore massive tunnels down into Zaralek in their search for Neltharion's secrets. Tunnels that we'll be using to chase after them. You can drag and ride all the way through and seamlessly load into the zone. No port.
Very cool. This is very, very cool. I like that a lot. That's awesome.
No boats or zeppelins, and most importantly, no loading screens. It's a fantastic experience. The zone is split into various biomes with different inhabitants. Some of the
zone looks really big. Look at that.
Fantastic experience. The zone is split into various...
Holy shit. That's a big fucking zone. Alright, great.
Biomes with different inhabitants. Some of them seem quite happy to help, so we have new friends to work alongside, but others are definitely less hospitable, so there are some new enemies here too. Zaralek Cavern also has so many rares to kill and events to take part in, so keep an eye on your map for new activities while you're exploring the zone. There's even a snail racing track, so if you think you've got what it takes to be the best snail trainer and racer the Drogbar have ever seen, the Glimmerog Games are waiting for you.
How many snails can you have racing at the same time? I think they had one of those back in Legion.
The main races we'll be interacting with in patch 10.1 are the Niffen, a friendly race of mole people who rely on their sense of smell. We'll need their help to traverse this odd landscape, so earning their favour is going to be important.
Cool.
They will even take you spelunking through hidden caves in the new Sniff and Seeking minigame. You'll need to use your friend's knack for sniffing and digging to solve puzzles, avoid traps, and claim your rewards. Speaking of rewards, we have a whole new renown track to progress through for the Niffen. You can earn new gearing options.
Do you know what my renown level with the fucking those guys are? The dragon guys? 4. Yep, 4.
Dragon riding customizations, upgrades to the Sniff and Seeking minigame, plenty of cosmetics, and more.
I did plus 20, so.
Patch 10.1 also brings us to Season 2 of Dragonflight with all new content and rewards, starting with the new raid, Aberrus, the Shadowed Crucible. Delve into the lost secret laboratory of Neltharion and discover the depths of his madness. Battle against horrific failed or forgotten experiments, enraged Stakali warbands, loyal wardens of Neltharion, and even echoes of the...
I really hope that this raid follows the same paradigm that Vault of the Incarnates did. I think Vault of the Incarnates was a very good raid. I still think it's like some of the raids are just too fucking hard. There's too much shit going on. But they definitely scaled it back. And I think Vault is probably better. I think Vault's better than any raid that came out in Shadowlands. I think it's better than Castle Nathria. Like, thematically, I think Castle Nathria is better, but in terms of the actual fights, I think Vault is better.
Earthwarder's presence, all in an effort to ensure whatever dark power lies here doesn't fall into the wrong hands, and of course walk away with some very shiny loot. As for the Mythic Plus system, Season 2 will bring an entire new rotation of dungeons to master. We'll be tackling the Brackenhide Hollow.
See, Neltharius, the good thing about Neltharius is it drops a one-handed mace that does fire damage, so you're going to be able to proc that belt more. I don't know why they did this. Somebody leaked to me, like privately, that they were going to bring out Vortex Pinnacle again. And I instantly knew it was true because it was the one dungeon I never wanted to do again. I fucking hated this dungeon. This was the, like, they could have bring in any other dungeon besides this. Ugh.
The Halls of Infusion, Neltharis, and Uldaman Legacy of Tier dungeons from
really
Dragonflight,
okay.
as well as the Vortex Pinnacle, Neltharian's Lair, Freehold, and Underrot dungeons from previous expansions.
Underrot always pissed me off. I didn't like Underrot. What were the ones that I liked in BFA? Like, Freehold was good. I liked Freehold. Motherwell, I hated Motherwell. That shit sucked. Maybe Atal Dazar. I also like the second part of Mechagon. The reason why I like the second part of Mechagon is that there were, like, no trash packs. It was just like big dick boss, big dick boss, big dick boss. Like, you just went from one boss to another. It was great.
Mythic Plus affixes will also see some big changes, with some being removed from the rotation, new options joining the pool, and balance changes for others. There's
I'm really
also
glad they're changing Mythic Plus.
No seasonal affix this time, so progressing through dungeons will be quite different when compared to Season 1. Season 2 also introduces all new class tier sets with new bonus effects to change up how your class or spec works and give you new amazing transmog sets to collect. We will also have more ways to acquire these sets, like killing the last boss of the raid for the first time on each difficulty, giving you a guaranteed piece of tier gear of your choice.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's kind of what they did with Blackhand back in WoD.
Earning the Season 2 Master Achievement by clearing the raid on Heroic, earning a high Mythic Plus rating, or even a high PvP rating. That also rewards you with a piece of tier gear. Between these,
I personally think that they should make ahead of the curve. Make it to where you have to kill every boss in a raid rather than just the last boss. I think the meta of just selling ahead of the curve carries over and over and over just one boss, like it's created such a weird bad dynamic in the game.
New guaranteed sources, killing bosses in the raid, and your weekly vault, you'll be rocking your new 4-set bonus in no time. And then, of course, the Revival Catalyst will arrive later on to facilitate the creation of tier gear.
They need to make it to where you can redo this more than once a week. Because, like, sometimes I would play and I would cap out, and then I would do more stuff, and I couldn't work on the one from last week. So, like, hopefully in Season 2, they make it to where, like, number one, I think the Revival Catalyst should come out on week 1 or week 2. And on top of that, I think that they should also make it to where you can, like, make up for times that you lose. So, like, if you do it on week 3 and it's been out since week 2, you can do 2 of them. No question.
Just like in previous seasons, except this time it's going to be even easier. You will accrue catalyst charges passively, so there's no quest to pick up or complete,
that what they did
and there will still be 0 currency requirements for upgrading gear. That's going to be great for getting ults caught up especially. But perhaps the most important change coming in Season 2 is the complete overhaul to how item progression works and how you can upgrade your gear. No matter what type of PvE content you take part in, whether it's raiding, Mythic Plus, or outdoor world content, you can earn Flight Stones and Shadowflame Crests to upgrade your gear. As you progress through more difficult tiers of content, more powerful Shadowflame Crests will drop that will allow you to upgrade your gear further and easier than ever before.
I think this is all really good. I'm very happy about this. This is nice.
Patch 10.1 will also be introducing cross-faction guilds, so no matter which faction you swore allegiance to, you'll still be
Indestructible is recruiting. We got Cutting Edge this tier. We're going to hopefully go for Hall of Fame this tier. We're Alliance, so there's probably only 105 guilds that are still on Alliance, so there's a good chance we're going to get it.
To play with your friends through all of this amazing group content coming our way and keep up to date with guild activities and events. I can finally get my Alliance characters invited into my Horde-based guild so I'm never left out of the loop. It's not just new group content in this patch though, there are also many new outdoor activities and events to take part in. Fyrak, the primal incarnate of fire, is looking for something, and he's not afraid to set the Dragon Isle ablaze in his search. Thwart the primalists' efforts, protect the denizens of the Dragon Isles, and earn a variety of rewards like reputation, higher item level gear, and even Shadowflame crests. In the Zaralek Cavern, you can also assist the Dragon Scale expedition in the researches under fire.
I think letting more casual players be able to upgrade their gear more is probably a good thing. It's one of the things that Legion did right. Is that Legion, like, the good Titan forging was very negative for like high-end players, but it was very positive, I think, for like the bottom, especially 50% of players. So like it doesn't really ruin the game if a casual player can get better gear over time. It doesn't really matter.
Event. Protect Renan and his team as they work to lift the lockdown on a Titan mining camp to unlock new mysteries and earn new rewards. With all of the new open world events, all adventures you take will lead to unique moments and rewards. And then there's also a brand new world boss or world bosses. You'll need to face off against Vakan and Golna at the same time if you wish to defeat the Sakali elders and walk away with some of their precious loot. This dual world boss can be found in the Zaralek Cavern, where you can turn the boss's abilities against each other to gain powerful bonuses to make the encounter easier.
I would say, like, I mean, all world bosses.
Professions have some great updates too. We have additional recipes to collect for powerful new gearing options, new fun and cosmetic crafts, and there are even all new raw materials to gather in the Zaralek Caverns.
Great.
Professions will also tie into the new gear upgrading system. Enchanters will be able to create enchanted Shadowflame crests to craft new higher item level gear, or you can upgrade your crafted gear from Season 1 to bring that forward and keep it relevant.
Oh, that's good, actually. Yeah, that's awesome. Because, yeah, I already spent a lot of gold on getting those items. That's good.
We also have some fun additions for dragon riding. There are all new glyphs to collect throughout the Zaralek Cavern and talents to unlock,
That's nice.
like ground skimming, which lets you regenerate vigor while flying close to the ground, even at low speed. There's also Land's Blessing, which improves the efficacy of ground skimming, so you'll be able to stay airborne much longer, even if you aren't soaring through the skies. And to top it off, there's a brand new dragon riding drake to collect and customize.
Yeah, the armored version of this is the Gladiator mount.
The Winding Slither Drake can be picked up by progressing through the new story campaign and will give you yet another option for zooming through the air in style.
That's so badass.
Every patch usually includes class changes and balance tuning, and 10.1 is no exception. There are some big adjustments for Shadow Priests, Devastation Evokers, and Balance Druids, but almost every class will see at least some changes to their talents or abilities, which combined with the new class tier sets and effects, could change up how your class or spec plays in this new patch. Then there are some under-the-radar changes too, including heirloom scaling to help level up alts, additional UI customization options, Worgen racial changes, a new transmog rolling option, mounts, and more. With such an incredibly content-packed patch, there are more ways than ever to play your way in the Embers of Neltharion update. But that's everything coming in patch 10.1, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I'll see you next time.
I think that was pretty fair. Yeah, it's about right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in WoW. Like, they've added a lot of stuff into it, so I think that's good. I mean, fuck, great. I mean, I'll probably play it. I mean, I'm planning on playing the new patch whenever it comes out. The whole expansion feels anti-caster. The reason why I haven't really played WoW a lot, like, one of the big reasons, is, like, I feel like all of the, like, everything in the game is just like, it's almost like it's programmed to fuck you. Like, it's so over complex. I think that's what it comes down to, is like the game is so complex to the point to where, like, if you're not playing it constantly, you can't keep up with everything that's happening. You use progress and it gets taken away. Yeah, exactly. You watched the Taliesin video about people not playing Dragonflight? No, I haven't seen it yet. Blizzard doesn't want to innovate. Well, I think that really it's it's just that the game is so complex, and like I can't PvP because whenever you PvP, you have to know so much stuff about all the other classes, and there's like, you know, you get opened on by somebody who has 15 different debuffs, and I know what 5 of them do, or 10 of them do, or maybe 14 of them do, but the 15th one is the one that matters, and it kills me because of it. It's just, yeah, you need 50 add-ons. Like, it's just, I think it's very over-designed in that way. It's not complex, just small blown IQ, good at the game. Well, if it's not complex, I mean, then why is everybody not playing it? I think there's a pretty good reason, is because they, it's because people don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, boomer-ass take? No, if it's a boomer-ass take, then why does everybody need a dozen different add-ons to play the game? Yeah, people wouldn't be downloading tons of add-ons and shit like that in order to play it if it wasn't like massively useful. So yeah, I mean, I just think Gladius. Well, yeah, but like think about all the things Gladius does. All I'm saying is that I just think the game is it's so complex, man. It's so ridiculously fucking complex. Let's see here. The game's been the same. It's been released since it's been released. No innovation ever. I think they've innovated on a lot of things in the game. It's just that right now there's just too much stuff going on. Like that's what I'm really trying to get into. Imagine being called a boomer because you think WoW has too many abilities. Actual idiotic people. Well, this is the reason why people put like such a positive emphasis on like Mists of Pandaria. But I said the same thing about Mists of Pandaria. Like the game was just over designed to the point to where there were so many abilities and so many functionalities of everything in the game that it became impenetrable for a new player to get into the game and enjoy it and actually progress, because there was just so much context that was needed, and it became just a shrinking audience of players. And I think that's what happens, is that like, yeah, obviously if you play the game all the time, a patch like Mists of Pandaria or like 5.4, I remember, is like your favorite patch ever, because it's like that's the point where the skill cap in the game is so high that if you've played the game for this long, you can show that off. But is that something that's like really good for the game? I think the answer to that is no. And overall, I think that like with WoW, for example, you look at like doing a boss fight in WoW, or doing any sort of like, especially Mythic Plus in WoW, you have so many things that you need to micromanage simultaneously that it's just exhausting. That's the way it feels. Like whenever I do a Mythic Plus, I always tell myself, oh, I want to go do Mythic Plus and like get into it. And then I do like 1 or 2 of them and I'm just tired, man. I am just fucking tired. Like, holy shit, isn't worth through the tank? Yeah, exactly. Too much stress. I don't know what else to say. 1 for Vault only? That's what I do usually. Oh, Boomer, and I tried WoW first time. Came back to New World because it's too much. Worst thing is the game doesn't punish every single individual for mistake. It wipes the whole fucking raid. Well, like, here's how they can make... okay, so like for Mythic Plus, like what would I want to see happen for Mythic Plus? Because I think that like really for raiding, all they need to do is just tone down the mechanics. Like just make it to where like you don't have a million mechanics happening at the same time. I think Vault was a huge improvement. Just keep going like that. No deplete keys. No bosses that obscure mechanics with their character model. Like, I think the bird boss in Academy is the best example of this. No red spells on red background against a red boss in a red room. Get rid of that. Straight up remove half of the trash mechanics. No affixes except for seasonal. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yeah, remove dog shit affixes that just make the run more annoying. All of them. Because, like, I don't understand how... I don't understand how, like, you have a problem with a positive affix. Because if it's an infinitely scaling system, then why would it be a problem if people were able to go 1 level higher? Because wouldn't they just hit the wall at a higher level? Who cares? It doesn't really seem like it matters. Ian's logic would be it would make no sense if higher key levels were easier than lowers. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that like I think they should have the affixes in right from the beginning. The rewards aren't infinitely scaling, so you have to make the rewards a lot higher. Yeah, I mean maybe, sure. I mean, yeah, maybe. I think that if you had a positive affix, like for example, for doing a plus 20 right now, doing a plus 20 is really hard. It is. Apparently somebody told me that only 3% of the population of like max level characters have done a plus 20. Only 3%. And of that 3%, I bet half of them got carried. So that's the point. Yeah, I think so. But what I'm saying is that like if you make a plus 20 a little bit easier, it's not like everybody's going to be able to do it. That's it. Yeah, like you're not. It's not like everybody's gonna be able to do it. Oh man, you give people a 20% buff on damage that's up sometimes. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, man, not at all. Yeah, most of those are Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. Actually, increase scaling this expansion exponentially, which is a huge mistake. Yeah, like 20s are hard, man. Like I did a lot of 20s. Remove WoW gatekeeping. Do you want to know why you have WoW gatekeeping? Is this. Nobody wants to lose their key. If you made it to where you keys didn't deplete, gatekeeping would immediately go down by a lot. Because like as soon as you realized that the run wasn't going well, you could just end the run and try to go with somebody else. But the problem with the fact that keys don't deplete is that now you're stuck in a situation where you want to keep pushing to try to desperately like not lose the key. So like you're mad and you're put into a situation where you're going to make yourself more mad. Yeah, it just takes one guy. People don't want to play with shitters. Exactly. Yeah. You want to lose a little bit of time. Yeah, exactly. Now great Ragnaros kids will leave more keys. Well, I think that somebody who's going to leave a key randomly is going to do that no matter what. I don't think that's really a big deal. Why would you invite bad players to your key? We wait a few more minutes and someone overqualified will always apply. Exactly. Why would you ever invite somebody who's bad if you could invite somebody who's good? It's toxic by design. Yeah, there you go. They leave in regardless now. Yeah, I've never left a Mythic Plus key myself, but I've seen people do it before. There was one time a guy left, there's a healer left, because I called him a bitch. And then the guy left, and I'm like, are you serious? Are you really going to leave the group? And I invited him, and he declined the invite. And I said, see, now you're actually being a bitch. Come back and finish the fucking key. And I invite him again. He rejoins, and we clear the fucking dungeon. Yeah. I'm like, come on, come back. No, you're not leaving. Come back here. It was actually really funny. Good pep talk? Yeah, exactly. I feel like the MDI is the reason why they have so many fucking annoying mechanics. I would say that if you ask an average player, is it fun to do a trash pack and have to worry about 2 mechanics on each trash mob? There's 5 trash mobs, and there's also 3 affixes. Are you having fun right now? I think the answer to that is no. And I've even seen MDI players talk about this. And you're not going to convince me that the AoE cap was not directly because of the MDI. I think it was 100% because of the MDI. So yeah. Each pack should have like 1 or 2 big things you have to worry about. Yeah, that's the way it was in Legion. Like you would do a pull, and it's like you do one pull, and there's the one thing you really have to worry about. And that's about it. So insane, the MDI circuit gets like 30% of the viewers, Asmongold's alt account, and the content's catered to them. I don't think it's necessarily catered to them, but I think that, like, think about it like this, right? So, like, who are the people that are talking to Blizzard the most? Well, they're going to be the high-end players, right? Because those are the ones that are interfacing with the developers. So, because of that, the developers get a feedback loop that is primarily hardcore player feedback. Whereas the truth is that a lot of other people play the game that don't want to play it all the time. And so whenever you're only talking to hardcore players that want to have more and more things that they can use to distinguish themselves between each other, you just lose out on like 90% of the population that just wants to play a fun game. So like skewed samples. Yeah, it's a skewed sample. Exactly. So like you're getting feedback from like a very, very small group of people that is extremely loud. So I think that's what happens. Blizzard, will you have a Discord with just Echo and Limit Liquid players for feedback? Yeah. And my opinion is that the opinion of a hardcore player does absolutely matter, and they understand the game a lot better than the average player. Like somebody in Echo understands the game like rating way fucking better than I do. Absolutely. They understand the way the fights work. They understand everything like that. But there's like a meta level of knowledge that it doesn't matter how good you know the fight if the fight's not fun. And that's what I'm really trying to get at. Is that it doesn't matter like, oh, well, you know, this is the challenge of it. And like, oh, you have to know all this stuff. Like, who gives a shit? Yeah, that's generally the way I see it. They should make separate mechanics for MDI. No, I think they should just make it the exact same and just make it easier. Like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, oh, it's just going to be random players? Like, I think it would be good if you had more dark horses in the MDI. I think it's boring whenever you just have the same team win every single time. Remember back whenever Method was like sponsoring WoW teams and like every team was like a Method Green versus Method Blue, Method Orange versus Method Black, and then they'll go to the finals where they fight Method Green versus Method Pink. Like, what is this? Like, that's just, it's so boring. Whereas, like, the most interesting MDIs were always whenever 5 idiots somehow managed to get onto the Blizzard stage. And sometimes they would win. That was always what was interesting. So, yeah, if you have that, I think that's a good thing. I hope that Blizzard realizes that kind of stuff, but I don't know if they ever will. A team is for idiots and a dog. Yeah, there you go.